Hello, Rob here from Flanagan Homestead and East Fork Christmas Tree Farms. I just got done with my visit at Thorntons Treeland, the largest U-cut Christmas tree farm in the area. They do about 5,000 trees U-cut a year, and so they make a good profit. But one of the things that Glen Thornton really recommended, and we've considering doing, and we haven't done it yet, is doing some of the extras that draw people back. Not because they have to come back, it actually kind of works out that way, but because they want to come back. And he sells every year a lot of what he calls the Marriage Saver Christmas tree stand. And I'll show you what that stand is here in just a minute, but basically what that stand is 3 long spikes, or long bars that hold up a spike directly up the middle. And then he's got, when people buy a tree there, they stand it up perfectly vertically, and then he's got a machine that when you press down, it pushes a drill bit up into the center of the trunk, and the tree is perfectly straight up. Then when they go home, they simply put the tree where the hole is drilled in the trunk on the spike, and it's standing straight up, and there's not the crawling around underneath the tree when they're done. So Glenn calls this the Marriage Saver Christmas tree stand, and he giggles as he says it because he knows how the husbands are crawling around underneath the tree every year trying to set them up. But many people have come to our farm and asked if we drilled that, and when we said no, we don't, they actually left and went back to Wiseman's or Thorntons, who both do that, not because they didn't like our trees, but they have that stand. They didn't want to buy a new stand, for one, and two, they like the convenience of that. So we're given actually a machine to drill the hole up in the center of the trunk, but it was a broken machine. We need to fix that so we could do the same thing. We can drill the hole, and so people that have that stand can come to us. But one of the things, I don't think they intentionally did, but one of the things that Thorntons and Wiseman, number 1 and number 2 in the county for U-cut sales is, once they sold this stand, people have to come back to someone that has the machine, and it's a big machine, to drill the hole in the bottom of the stand. So here's some video of the stand itself.
Okay, this is our tree stand. This little peg will hold up a 9 or 10 foot tree just fine. Now if you get a big tree, you may want to guy it a little bit to a leg, but I have a double on also, and that's a 5-quart water bowl, and we have a drill machine. I'll show you outside where we put it.
Okay, but real quick while we're here. So here's your supply of the stands, I mean just the wire, and then we've got the spike sticking up here. As soon as you stick this on here, and this seals up enough that this is not going to leak in the people's homes. You're saying that doesn't leak?
I have sold thousands and thousands of them. I sell probably 500 or so of those a year, and people, we call it the marriage saving tree stand. And I want to tell you, guys come in here, and they're a husky guy like you, and he knows that he has to take that tree home and get it straight, because he's got a finicky little 5'2" wife, and he says he crawls out from under the tree after the 3 screws or 4 screws in the collar. He knows he cannot go any further that way. And he crawls out from under the tree and looks around and says, "Oh, it looks pretty good to me." And she says, "It's still leaning to the left. Look at that." And he get in a fight over whether the tree's straight or not. And then if he starts shimming it, well, the cockeyed thing's got the 3 screws, 4 screws. It's down here. It's got a little burr sticking up. It's supposed to be holding that tree steady. And that thing slips, and he's got to start all over, and he's already missed half of the football.
I understand. I have been the guy under the tree standing it up. And I'll tell you, I have many customers that have been to Wiseman's or you before, and they end up at our place for one reason or another, and they ask about this stand. And or not just the stand, because they have the stand already, but they're like, "Can you drill this?" And I said, "No." And that's why we're working on getting the machine to drill it, which we don't have one that works.
But I'm just showing you the inside here, because we have another rod that goes up straight. Now, let's go on outside, and I'll show you the rest of it. Because you gotta have a plumb. You know what plumb is?
I used to be in construction. If I don't know what plumb is, I need to be shot.
Well, I don't know too much about it because but see these two poles?
Yep.
Those are pretty straight rods.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty level pad. And we bolt that drill machine to here.
Okay.
And so the machine actually faces this way, the guy with the handles here. And so we got a guy like you standing there holding that tree. He slices it right down the middle with that pole. And I've got this pole that goes up a little bit to the barn, towards the barn, away from the barn, away from the barn. Or this guy says, towards the street, whatever description, everybody knows which way you're pointing. And then you say, she's ready, and then you put that stand on. And these people are standing around here. You see this guy, glum-looking guy. And then I walk over and I stand there for a little bit and I said, hey, how's it going? It's going good. And then people tell me, I've been thinking of coming out here since August. Now Bruce is a salesman, and he's done a great job out there. And you sound like you're doing a pretty good job too, because what'd you say, you got $75 out of that tree this year?
Mm-hmm.